Well, I wanted to bring you back real quick. This next segment of, of videos is, I already mentioned this in one of the other beginning of the videos where I was complaining about that drive pump rod, and I had to cut a lot of these videos out because I had several of them, like I had said in the past, that was fighting me because of that the drive pump rod coming out of the pump, which I admit that I'm the one who put it around backwards, so or upside down. It doesn't matter. I kind of cussed the engineers and stuff like that, but in the end, it was my stupidity. Even though I was cussing somebody else for it, it was actually me for not knowing, and so it's definitely my bad. I'm the one who put the drive pump rod in upside down, and so it kept falling out every time I picked the distributor up, or every time I picked the drive pump rod up, or whatever it was actually pulling out of the pump. And a couple of times it fell. One time it fell into the pan when there was no oil in it, and then here in a little bit when I pull this drive pump rod out, whether I put it on video or not, it actually fell into the pan while it was full of oil. So anyway, I just wanted to, you know, I'm definitely not a Ford guy, and it shows. So you know, these little things I'm trying to bring up and show you guys that you know, you really need to pay attention to stuff, because I'm you know, I'm definitely not the way to do something. I'm trying to show you how not to do it, apparently, because it seems to be what's happening a lot on this Ford, is that I'm not knowledgeable enough, and I'm too lazy to hurry up and look and check and see and watch other videos on Fords and stuff, because you know, I don't think I need to in a lot of cases, and this one, it kind of bit me. And if that, what I am probably, I don't know that I'll do it. At this point, it's 23rd of April, so these videos are 2-3 months old, and I'm actually just about to do the first startup on it. So you guys are way behind. I'm going to try to throw these videos out, so there may be a little skipping around and stuff, but I'm trying to get this out to where you can actually see the first start, and then we'll get on the rest of the car. So I'll bring you back. I know I told you I was going to bring you back when it was primed and getting ready to paint. That didn't happen. Mostly just because I got started on it, and then I had to put it back on the engine stand and move stuff around, blah, 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 blah. It just didn't happen. I'm going to take these off temporary because I'm going to fill this thing up with oil and prime the system. So, although it doesn't look super Ford bluey anywhere, it's because half the parts that are on it aren't going to be on it. There's no sense in painting these because they're not staying. They're going to be on it when I put the engine in, except the intake manifold won't be. I'm going to have to do a little cleanup there without a gasket and moving it around. That's just sort of the nature of the beast. I didn't bolt it down, so I have no doubt that there's going to be some blue in places that I didn't want it in there. But for the most part, though, it's China rail for one. Can't have any oil on that because that's going to be, or paint really, because that's going to be siliconed. But anyway, for the most part though, came out looking pretty good. Doing it on the stand was going to make a mess because I had to turn it upside down. I really didn't want to do that. And so taking it and hanging it off there, although probably not the best idea sometimes, because it's starting to slip on the chain, get front heavy because of that water pump stuff on there. I was kind of getting concerned, but it pulled through. It stayed on there where I wanted it. It's kind of the way it works. But, again, it'll get cleaned up again one more time prior to actually putting it in. Like I said, the intake will be on. I don't know if I'm going to put the new water pump on. Probably not till it's installed. And I won't put the distributor in unless I just have to. I may leave that priming rod in, and I may prime it one more time prior to actually trying to start it before I put the distributor in. Probably what I will do. So anyway, let me get all my stuff together here.
I can take that water pump off. I guess it doesn't really need to be on there, but I actually put it on there. So I'll have to, I'll actually have to take all the nuts off. And it doesn't matter on the oil part, doesn't really matter. I did miss a little paint job here and there right where that snout stuck out, but it's going to be another one there. You're really not going to see it anyway. So one of those, not super concerned about it. Remember, these are 5/8. I'd rather run some better looking bolts, but these things are, I don't remember which ones of my which one of these are actually used for yeah, what am I after? The accessories. Alright. Now let's. Damn it! Like I said, I'll have to do some cleanup here before I put that back on. And I'm going to anti-seize those bolts that go through there. Hopefully that'll somewhat stop them from being a pain in the butt if I have to take it apart next time. Now I did not actually fill the holes up on the exhaust side. I probably should have, but the exhaust is going to burn that paint off instantly on startup. Even if there was a couple of the valves open and it got paint inside, everything is lubricated with oil, so it's not going to stick. It's just going to fire right up and burn that stuff off. It's really not going to hurt anything. I don't recommend doing that all the time, but in this particular case, I kind of know it's not going to hurt it. So Mobile 1 is what I normally use, and this is a roller engine, and I like that oil, and that's what I run in pretty much everything. I don't know if it's the best oil. I'm not telling you to run it. It's just what I run. However, this particular case, just for a break-in oil, just because I already have it, I actually bought it for this engine, or the 6-cylinder engine actually, and this is actually going to short me a quart. It's actually only 4 quarts. It's a gallon. I guess I didn't read that. Doesn't make any difference. I'll pour it in there if I got to get another. I'll get another quart of this. It's a Mobile Delvac 1300 Super. It's actually a diesel engine, 1540. Like I said, it's just for break-in purposes. It's not what I'm going to run. But this is what. You used to be able to buy the diesel oil really inexpensive, and if you have a non-roller engine that requires that zinc, diesel oil is the way to go, because almost none of the diesel engines had roller stuff. The old Detroit's did, but not. Anyway, it doesn't make any difference. Okay, I'm looking in here one more time, make sure there's no debris. Might have came in one way or another. Especially setting that old junky intake, even though I cleaned it 2 or 3 times. Now's the time to do it. Pieces of fuzz from the rag, which I told you it's kind of bad about getting in there. I got the oil plug in. I've got everything. Actually, the only thing I do not have is a dipstick tube. Just making sure the lifters all get a little bit here. Like I said, just break in oil. So, and I won't have to go get another quart before I fire it up. But for what we're doing, this is going to work fine. Get the garbage off my hands. Going to Move you around a bit, need you on the other end. Alright, that gonna work. So I'll back you up just a tad. Alright. This is the oil priming tool, like I said, is already in. Here it is. Unless I blow a gasket on her. There's the oil pressure gauge, and we'll go ahead and give her a spin. I know you can't see the drill, but you can, well, you kind of can. Alright, here we go. Why does it sound like I'm going the wrong way? Okay, hang on. Let me think about this for a minute. Which way does Ford rotate? It may be going backwards. It is. Going backwards. Uh-oh. Hang on. Got a problem here. The paint. The paint's coming off of my tool and making a heck of a mess. Trying to get into my stuff. Hang on. I gotta clean that up and fix that. That's not working. I should have put, I put the dry rod in there so that I didn't have to keep taking it on and off, but now that I picked it up, I can't get it back on. Come on. This thing better not do. I don't know what it's doing, but it's not doing what it's supposed to. Come on. I had to get this crap off of this rod. I didn't expect that to be a problem. I should have known, but I didn't take it into account. My bad. Luckily the paint's still pretty wet because I should have even let the primer set overnight and I didn't do it, so kind of my own bad. Alright, rod's clean, I know, not on camera, bad deal. Cleaning off the aluminum hold down. Alright. I shouldn't have done that. I sprayed the hole down, now it's tacky. Should have left it alone. Should have had gloves on. Alright, I'm coming, I promise. Good grief. Nothing's working. Like normal. Alright, let's try this again. This time. I'm just covering everything with paint again. It's all over my hands. This is funny. Alright, let's try this one more time. This time. Okay, I think it's on there. No, it is not. Something is not right. I don't know why it's not right. But it's almost as if... see, I've got spark plugs in, so now I got compression. It's almost as if that rod is not in there anymore. And I know it didn't do this to me again. You gotta walk in front of you. You gotta get a light. Because it feels like it's not on the pump again. It's not. How did it come out? Oh no. It's not in the pump again. I don't understand why this keeps doing this. I don't know what to do. I've got oil in it now. If it falls back in the pan, I got to pull everything back apart again. And I know this time I'm going to have to get another gasket. I cannot keep crushing that gasket over and over and over again. It just can't be done. Yeah, I'm a bit miffed here. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I can tolerate a lot of things, but stupidity on engineers is something I've never been able to take. And this seems to be an engineering issue. I don't understand why this would keep doing this. The thing is, I can get a magnet down there and I can pick the rod up, but I can't get it back where it belongs because you can't see, number one, once you get it back down, everything gets in the way and the light just doesn't cut it. And even if I get it in there, I'm not sure I can get the, I don't think I can get my, I mean, you cannot see this at all. Man, I see. There's no way I could show you guys what's going on, except that I can pick this up. And the problem is, I can get it picked up, but once I get it picked up, I don't know what to do with it. Oh man, and I cannot see. My magnet isn't very good. I mean, it's like it's a socket or like an extension. And so it hits the hole, and it won't go any further down. It's bound and determined to go back down there in that pan. I think it's partially back in. Okay, it's back in it again, but I don't understand why it fell out. I'm going to lube this so it doesn't... afraid this aluminum is what's... that paint. It's like it moved, but I don't understand why it moved, if that makes any sense. I got it back in there, like I said. It definitely has to go the other way. There we go. My battery just quit on my drill. It didn't like that very much. I'm sure I could do it on slower. I'm getting oil out of the rockers now. Yep, now I'm making a mess. Now it's getting on the floor. Those two rockers there aren't doing anything. Let me turn the engine over. I'm going to leave the spark plugs in it. Okay. Get this back out of the oil. Well, I've still got a couple of them that are not priming. 1, 2, 3. 3 that's not. And they're all on this side over here. Let me turn the engine over a little bit more. Spinning it on the first speed slowed it down about 40 pounds. And see, it probably depends on where the cam and stuff is how it's doing it. So. Okay, that one picked it up. There's this one. One left. Still got one. You know, I gotta be careful not to run oil down the side of it because that's fresh paint. Well, okay, I'll take just the one not picking it up because it will pick it up. I know it will. It's just I just don't have the engine orientated in the right place. But we got pressure. Everything is working good. So I'm going to leave that tool in there until we get the engine installed, and then I'll put the distributor in. That's kind of the plan. I mean, I can't answer what's the story up with that rod. I don't get it, but I don't know. Reverse rotation though on that, so I'll have to remember that when I wire up the distributor too, because it's actually reverse rotation. So, from what I'm used to do for a Chevrolet, I guess I should say. So, all right, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to set those. I'm going to clean up my mess here. See how much paint I just lost. I'm going to put the old valve covers back on. I'm going to set that old intake back on, and then allow the paint to dry for probably a day, and then. I mean, this is going to be a while before I can actually install the engine. The intake I'm going to drag out, and I'm going to clean it up, even though it's brand new, and I want to put 3 or 4 coats of that satin clear on it, and we may go ahead and put that on because I'm going to use that to set the engine. That way I can get it pulled off. I need to find out what plate can be used. I don't know if that automatic plate can be used, or whether I have to use one from a stick shift. I don't know what the difference is. I have to find somebody who knows Ford can tell me, and now I'll put the flywheel on. Get the motor mounts on. I'm going to leave the water pump off, and I don't have the headers ordered. I'll have to get those ordered before I start setting the engine down, just in case I have to put them in before the engine can set in. But basically though, everything else is, I guess it's ready to go. I haven't bought plugs, but I did get my wires in. Of course, you know, I've got the distributor and everything. So it's basically just a matter of getting the engine out of this Mustang and getting it ready to put in. So, and I want to do the brakes on that first. So the engine build for now is done as it's going to get. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the rest of the car.